to maybe $9 in the U.S. Cotton's in the U.S., ink's in the U.S., it's printed in the U.S., the trucks ship it in the U.S., it's $9.95, and I sell it for $5. Try that one on for size. But see, I've got other products where we make enough of a profit to do stuff like that. I'm just in a war. I wish I had 1 billion T-shirts saying Hillary for president. I'd give them away. What am I supposed to do? I'm all in. I'm firing everything I got. I'm set to not take any money in 2016. I don't even care. I'm just like, hire more people, more cameras, more crews, battle, 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 battle. I am all in like the Alamo swinging my musket here. And all I'm saying is, if you have that attitude, there is nothing these globalists can do to stop us. That's all I'm saying. I'm all in. I'm all in because I have no birthright. I have no future. My kids have no future if we don't beat these people. I'm desperate. And what did one of the most famous, I forget his name, but guys, look up The Way of the Samurai is Desperate. I'm going to go to your calls. I'm sorry. The Way of the Samurai is Desperate. And it's one of the most famous samurais, and he said, the way of the samurai is desperateness. Not even 10 men, 100 men can stop such a man. And in my life, I've actually found that. Most people are scared, they're timid, they're acting like they're tough, they're acting like they're bullying you. Now, when you take the gloves off and some thug's attacking you, actually start pounding the living hell out of them, they get down on the ground and start crying for mommy real fast. I don't care how big they are, because they're always the aggressor. The aggressor is a punk trying to get something for free. They don't have the spirit to win. I don't care they weigh 100 pounds more than me, and they're the state wrestling champion. They start the fight, they get the tracheotomy. And I'm just telling you right now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to realize this spirit of weakness must be broken, and it is being broken. I can tell you, we've turned the tide. We are going to win the war long term. God already promised that, but you can see it. The empire is going to strike back. They don't know they've won. They don't know that they've lost the battle. They don't understand that we've won. They're like Hitler in his bunker. So let's go ahead and finish up, go to break with Nigel Farage. And I promise I'm coming out of the gates with Trish and Danya and Brian and Trevor. Those are all first-time callers, and Steve. Then Scottish John and other folks. I said the first 5 callers will be first-time callers. And Andrew, Chris, and so many others, Al, and folks that are holding. I'm Alex Jones, your host, but this is the leader of the UKIP party from nowhere 25 years ago, running for office 20 years ago. And now the leader of Europe, the leader of opposition. He's a libertarian. He's a nationalist. He's a listener of the show. He's a patriot. Just like 1776, they're having their Declaration of Independence in the UK. You got to hit bottom first before you come back up to the top, and they're now doing it. The UK's hit bottom. It's now coming back up to the top, and it's a beautiful thing. We'll go out to break with more of the UKIP leader.
Between Westminster, SW1, and real communities. And the one image I will remember throughout the rest of my life was a woman in Bolton grabbing my hands with tears in her eyes, saying, why doesn't David Cameron, why doesn't the government come and see what they've done to my community, what they've done to the prospects for my kids? People here don't understand. They're too wealthy. They don't get what open door mass immigration as a result of EU membership has done to people's wages, to people's availability of getting GP appointments or their kids into local schools. This was the issue ultimately that won this election. So I'm thrilled that we've done this. I believe the other big effect of this election is not what's happened in Britain, but what will happen in the rest of Europe. I mean, in the rest of the EU, Eurosceptic parties never talked about leaving the EU. Now they are. An opinion poll in the Netherlands said that a majority there now want to leave. So we may well be close, perhaps, to an exit. And similarly,
that's right. Denmark. The EU is collapsing. The EU is collapsing. We need Trump Farage 2016. It's a global movement. It's 1776 worldwide. I coined the term. It's now been adopted by UKIP, Lord Monckton, and others, and is now happening. Not global government, but global awakening of liberty. 1776 worldwide. It's unstoppable. As for me, give me liberty or give me death. Do I even need to tell folks that's Patrick Henry? Sometimes these quotes are so famous, I don't want to tell you actually said them, even though it's plagiarism. If I don't, what's the point? You know, it's like saying YouTube Brutus. Julius Caesar said that. But yes, that was Patrick Henry. As for me, give me liberty or give me death. I want to go to your phone calls right now. It's an amazing time to be alive, where they admit a planetary corporate above the law government's being formed. Every world leader admits that. They have all these big treaties. And then if you point out, here, you said this on this TV show, or here's this document, or here's this global treaty, they go, Can I have a tinfoil hat? And a great example of that was like 6 years ago, Gibbs, the press secretary, was asked about a bunch of shows about the drone program. It was a public program for years, predating Obama's administration, and he'd been told to say it doesn't exist. And he said, and I would go on TV and say something didn't exist that existed. And what was crazy is most of the times on CNN or Fox or anywhere, they would just agree with him and then say there is no drone program. I mean, think about that. That is quite a level of mind control. So I saw over 50 articles this weekend. I didn't even read 4, 5, 6 of them, whatever. Just going, Alex Jones is insane. He believes the Brexit is tied to world government, New Yorker magazine. And then I learned that's actually going to be in the print paper. That's a pretty prestigious magazine. I mean, I've read some pretty good articles in there. It's like the level they've stooped to just, I mean, the EU, I could play you 5 or 6 EU former heads or current heads, and I could play you 3 different British prime ministers admitting it's a world government project, saying we will complete world government this year with the completion of the EU Atlantic deal with the Americans and the TPP in the next year. In fact, I'm going to go to calls. You guys just go to YouTube as a practice gesture. Even folks can even watch us search, because we're not just on the radio. We're on TV, too, at Infowars.com/show and TV and cable stations around the country. But anybody can go watch us at Infowars.com/show. And just type in Herman von Rompuy says EU establishing world government. And I can show you dozens of clips of him, or Barroso, or any of these guys. But you can just type in Herman von Rompuy world government. Type that in, Herman von Rompuy world government. And then you have all the clips. And I told people the story like 5, 6 years ago. There's Nigel Farage confronts Herman von Rompuy on world government. Yeah, that's a clip right there at the top. And it is on BBC with English subtitles and the English narrator. Here, let's just grab that. We'll play it after some calls. If you're a TV viewer, you can see this. And I had the anchor, the host of ABC Nightly News here. They were doing a Nightline piece. And he goes, there's no world government. You're making that up. And I said, well, and I went and showed him 6 clips of world leaders calling for world government and saying we're establishing it. He looked at me and he said, that's a different world government than they're talking about. And then he goes, hey, let's go to dinner. And at dinner, he just laughed and said, ha, 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 I like your show. Yeah, I know. We all know this. We do our coverage. You do yours. Yeah, I get it. And the guy was actually nice to me. What was his name? What's that guy's name? Because it's not that big a deal to be the ABC News anchor anymore. You see him. He used to be a 700 Club reporter before that. I don't know. Whatever. The point is, I literally don't know. I'm not even bragging. I want people to know that Hollywood has no power and TV has no power. I've hosted 4 different Discovery Channel shows. No, 3 different Discovery Channel shows and 4 different History Channel shows in the last 6, 7 years, and I've never watched one of them. Not one. Not one. I could care less about that. That's an enemy transmission, and I just put my info out, whatever they do with it, they do. And then I go over here, and I just have these pure transmissions where I can really talk to you. But it's not like some power trip. I'm on TV. Oh, I'm embarrassed I even did those interviews. Now I get calls, and I go, you know what, Vice? Vice wanted to come here and do an interview. I just said, you know what? I'm just not going to do it. Oh, HBO, you want to interview? Yeah, I'm sorry. Oh, you want me to be in a movie with Christian Bale? You know, I'm just not going to do it, okay? Go jump in a frickin' freezing lake. How's that feel? In fact, let's go to DrudgeReport.com right now. You know what I want to be associated with? People like Matt Drudge, who actually have courage and care about freedom and are fighting for internet freedom and free speech. Look at this. Look, Drudge gets how big it is. Let's blow that up so I can read that. Globalists rattled. World government in trouble. Here, let's blow up the top left-hand corner headlines. I want to read those out to folks if we can. Because my computer's down in here, so I have to go off the TV screen. Trump, independence wave coming. What you guys can do is you can minimize the browser, make it a little bit smaller, and then I can read that.
Oh, Drudge is one of the oldest websites.
No, I know. That's why I love it. What's old's new? Shadow over Hillary. Open revolt against encrusted establishment. And it just goes on and on about how Soros calls for reconstruction after he loots it. Support for Spain's Conservative Party surges days after Brexit. I mean, just look, it's total revolt against world government. Everyone's saying world government. Everyone's saying planetary tyranny. Everyone's saying New World Order. Ah, you failed. Your hoax failed. It's all out in the open. I'm so happy. Okay, let's go to calls. Donna, Trish, Brian, Trevor, Steve, Zeb, Ryan, you name it. Donna or Danya, calling from Corpus Christi, Texas. You're on the air worldwide. Go ahead.
Hi. How are you doing, Alex?
I'm doing good. How may I serve you? What's on your mind today? Ah, we're alive.
First, that's right. First, I want to say thank you for the amazing product, amazing news, and the inspiration. I have to say that. I've been listening.
Well, thank you for your inspiration, ma'am, your support.
And it's just, it's a European and it's an American renaissance. I think they're both working in tandem. Our histories have been intertwined for hundreds of years, so it's not a surprising factor that one continent affects the other. And, this is radicalizing the left. And all I have to say is we have to stick to the headlines and repeat them, because that's what these people are used to. I've learned that stooping into the details and trying to explain it with sources and the history behind it all just gets a lot of folks lost. And,
I agree with you. Well, I mean, once people are awake, it's great to give the whole history of it. But how do you reach out to somebody that's literally like Helen Keller, not aware what planet they're on? I like to say, you've been conned, you've been hoaxed. I care about you. I'm not telling you this to act elitist. I used to be uninformed. I used to be in this cocoon. Let me teach you about this scam. It can really empower you to be aware.
It's, it's externalism. It goes beyond foreign policy of converting countries to so-called democracies around the world. We've been under a policy of externalism for decades now. And finally, people are waking up and they're realizing there's this big elephant in the room.
That's a great point. The media has been bought and paid for, and as a class have been the real deceivers enabling this giant lie and this fraud. Thank you so much, Donna. Great points. Trish, I'm going right to you. Then Brian, Trevor, Steve, Zeb, Ryan, then Scottish John, Andrew. I'm going to everybody. Each person gets a minute, though. Don't ask me a question, because I'm going to make your statement, and I'm moving to the next person. So just get up there to the gate, get up there on the starting line, and get ready for that green light, and those flags will start waving, because we're about to start this sucker. I'm sorry to get to more calls, but tomorrow we will during the weekday transmission. Thank you, George Strait, for introducing us. Hard to turn that voice off, but we're going to do it right now and go to Steve, Veb, Trish, and everybody else. Steve, calling from Austin, Texas. You're on the air worldwide. Thanks for holding.
Doing
good. Welcome, sir. You're on the air. Thank you.
all right. This is the moment I've been waiting for with regard to Brexit. This is the moment where the fight between those who want to be free and the globalists is starting to be seen on the public stage. And I've never seen opinions. I'm on Facebook Live. I've never seen opinions so divided and so polarized.
Well, they've always been able to just say there is no EU. It's not a dictatorship. It doesn't exist. So now we're making them admit it does, as the EU tries to ban free speech, as they try to merge with us, they try to merge with the TPP. And so we're now going to have a debate, and they're going to lose. That's why they're going to run scams, but we can't lose hope because the debate's here.
Yeah, and it's incredible. I've been waiting for this for a very long time. I've been listening to you for a long time. Been reading a lot of this paraphernalia for a long time. And so I'm just to be able to have it on the public stage and be able to point at it and say, hey, this is going on, and just give them little factoids that say break down their whole trendy argument is just really exhilarating.
It is, my friend. What do you expect next? I mean, some people are going to say, oh, Alex, it's not that big of a victory. They're going to keep fighting us. Well, of course they are. But now we've openly pointed out it's a dictatorship created by a bunch of weird Nazis and British royalty at the end of World War II. I mean, the EU is literally Spectre out of a James Bond movie.
What I expect next is definitely, it goes hand in hand. It's like a yin and yang, like a seesaw. Like if something gets messed up in Europe, they're going to try something in America. It's a collective attack on humanity, and people need to start understanding that. Because like Obama doing the immigration thing over here, it's like, okay, Brexit didn't work. Let's do the immigration thing over here. That didn't work. Okay, let's do this over here. Like it's a collective attack. That's going to continue. But as long as we remain vigilant, I don't think that's really going to work.
I agree, and I think long term, it's like when the Nazis got turned back in Russia at Leningrad, and when the Battle of Bulge got won in the West, we knew Hitler was going to lose, but it was still going to be a hard fight because he wasn't going to give up. I think we've reached that magic moment in my gut. It's a long battle. There'll still be problems. There's no utopia at the end of it.